everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the 2020 love outlook for the sign of Aquarius. Alright Aquarius, you are the last of the 2020 outlooks. I'm sorry it took a while to get it out, but let's get right into it. We're going to pull out two romance angel messages for you and your partner. This isn't a general I'm going to say a kind of a specific, not a general, more of a specific outlook on one connection for an Aquarius this year. Okay, so this reading is not going to resonate for everyone. You may only resonate with a portion of this reading, and that really all depends, you know, on your situation, and that's fine. Okay, don't forget to check out your other planetary placements, to check out other readings that may resonate more with your situation. So let's get right into it, Aquarius. Now, this could be for a connection that is together. You guys may not be together. You guys may be in reconciliation or what have you. We're just going to see. All right. So straight out, we have this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And we have a wedding. This involves marriage. So it could very well be that marriage is on the cards for you this year. All right, now, we won't know much about that just yet. Let's pull out your animal spirits. The two animal spirits for you and your partner, you and your soulmate connection. Now, again, you may resonate with either or both, you know, of these messages. That's fine. It may be vice versa for you, whatever the case may be. All right, straight out we have Ant Spirit, time to collaborate. And we have Wasp Spirit, life stings. Whew, wow. Interesting, interesting. Let's get right into it. We have two air, obviously. Well, I'm going to say Ant is definitely an earth spirit. Right? Unless we're talking about fire ants, which would be fire. But this is ant, time to collaborate. And then we have wasp, which is definitely an air spirit. So let's get right into your two animal spirits. We have ant and wasp. Now the ant spirit is, of course, an earth elemental. Talking about really collaborating with each other, right? Working together. The ant likes orderliness, right? They like to know what their job is, and they do the job very well. They like to work in partnership with each other, and together they're much stronger than they would be on their own. The wasp spirit definitely talks about life, you know, is painful sometimes. Sometimes we go through very difficult scenarios, or we get stung. We may feel some pain from a particular love connection, what have you, or a breakup. And at the time, we may resent going through it, or we may resent life putting us through it. But ultimately, everything in life has a value. And sometimes it's this feeling of, you know, when you look back and you say, wow, you know, thank God this went the way it did. Because if I was still with that person, I'd be miserable. Or, you know, thank God that in the short term it may have hurt, but in the long run, so many more doors or opportunities were open to me. And so in this way, when things hurt or when life stings you as such, as the wasp does, there is a purpose to it. And oftentimes when we talk about spirit, you know, working with the spirit brings in what it can, the best thing it can for you. And if that means that you may have to go through a little bit of pain initially to get to that, then so be it. Now let's get right into it. You're going to pull out your 6 cards for you and your person. You're going to look at how you see yourself, how your person sees themselves, how you see each other, and how you see the relationship. All right, guys? So, again, this is a 2020 love outlook. So this is a general outlook for the next year in this connection for you. All right. Straight out, you see yourself as a Four of Wands. They are Nine of Cups. You see them as the world. They see you as Nine of Pentacles. And you see the relationship as a Five of Pentacles, and they see it as Hermit energy. Whew. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have Three of Swords. Wow. So there is a break in loyalty, a break in trust. All right. So obviously, Three of Swords talks about really a break in loyalty or bonding somewhere. Someone hurt someone with their words or their actions. Oftentimes, Three of Swords can be interpreted as third-party energy, but it's not a cup card. And oftentimes I see people interpret it as such. It's not a cup card. It's a swords card. And so here we're talking about really sort of the behavior of someone or the communication of someone that has sort of duped you or tricked you or hurt your ego in some way, right? Or some way the communication has fallen apart. It has not stayed true to what it should be. And so, of course, that hurts us. And a simplified version of that is cheating on us with somebody else. But ultimately, the real hurt is the blow to our ego. The inability to accept that somebody has perhaps tricked us into believing that they love us, or sort of there is this feeling of our intelligence having been insulted. And this is a lot of reasons why this card can be so volatile, and these type of situations can be so volatile. Now, let's get right into your reading. We have a Four of Wands, which is how you see yourself, and a Nine of Cups, which is how your person sees themselves. You see yourself as being part of a real soulmate connection. This person is for you, right? You don't see anything but them. See 1111. Four of Wands does talk about a new connection in a lot of ways. It is Venus and Aries, so a lot of times it's the coming together and right away the stability. Four of Wands talks about a connection that is stable from the outset, right? Now, oftentimes I hear people talk about soulmates they haven't spoken to for years, or people who've ghosted them, people who are emotionally unavailable to them, people who have told them point blank they don't want to be with them. That's not what a Four of Wands is. It's, you know, you may believe it, but it isn't. Four of Wands is when two people come together with mutual respect and love, with the same focus, and the stability is so strong that they right away start a twin flame journey. This is not, you know, this is not about, you know, one person believing it's a twin flame journey and trying to convince somebody else of such a thing. This is a case where both people, you can see both people rejoicing, right? And so, you know, this is a feeling of very much sort of having connected with somebody equally, right? And this is where you're coming from. However, your person is seeing themselves quite separate. They're very happy with where they're at. They see themselves as a Nine of Cups. They see themselves as being very blessed. With all the 9 cards, we have an inheritance. We have inherent essence of the Hermit. And yet again, the Hermit shows up for your person. So it's interesting that they really resonate with being happy, but being happy on their own. They're not, you know, the Nine of Cups individual is not somebody who is looking outward. They may be looking for a twin flame connection, but right now they're happy where they're at. They're happy with the blessings of the relationships they have. Oftentimes, this is someone who knows is very grateful for what they have. They're very grateful for their family and their friends. All of these cups of love behind them. Yet that one connection, which would be a connection in the Four of Wands type of union, still eludes them. Yet they're happy, right? So generally, somebody who's resonating with Nine of Cups, they may be ready to have that deeper connection that would resonate them up to a Ten of Cups. But right now, they're absolutely happy where they are. So it's interesting. There seems to be a disconnect here. The World and the Nine of Pentacles. So you see them as the World card. You see them very much, I want to say you probably see them as someone who is very sort of worldly, someone who is very traveled, right? Ambitious, very adventurous. You see them sort of the type of, they're maybe like the type of person who's very sort of independent, very happy with where they're at, you know, very happy with their lot. And that makes a lot of sense because they see themselves that way. They're very happy and grateful for what they have and blessed. And so you see this, you see them as such, right? However, they see you as a Nine of Pentacles, which is also very interesting. Once again, a Nine of Pentacles is someone who's very much on their own, someone who's oftentimes alienated by their finances because their abundance level is quite high. And it could be that You know, this a level of abundance or this mastery that they've achieved in their career or business has kept them somewhat alienated from closer relationships. However, Nine of Pentacles individual, once again, 9. We have a lot of 9s here. Once again, and in fact, if you check it out, we have 9 straight across, 9, 9, and 9 for your person. So all really talking about separateness and solitude, right? A Nine of Pentacles individual is somebody who has really mastered their craft, and they put all of their energy into their ambition. Very successful, and they're happy for that. Now, again, like I said, with the 9s, again, the 9 of Pentacles, that last step that will resonate you up to a 10 of Pentacles is indeed a union. And it can be that they see you. Generally, if you're resonating with this card yourself, you may be ready for that union. But if somebody sees you as a 9 of Pentacles, they see you as very much separate. They see you as the type of person who works for their career, works for their business, and is happy to sort of be on their own, putting their energy into that. This is how your person sees you. So again, there seems to be a disconnect between how you see them and how they see you. Let's get right into the relationship. We'll pull clarifiers in a minute just in case. But 5 of Pentacles is how you see the relationship, and they see it as hermit energy. So once again, they have pulled away. They're perfectly happy to be on their own. They see this relationship. It could have been that this relationship has led them down a spiritual path, yet it's a solitary path. There's no indication that they are coming toward you. 5 of Pentacles here talks about a power dynamic. Now, the 5 is always the number for power struggle. 5 of Pentacles is where you have a power struggle with someone or a group of people, and there has been a split or a divide, and ultimately you are the one who's been ousted, right? You are the one has been sort of kicked out of the relationship and sort of sent out into the cold to rebuild yourself. The one thing with the 5 of Pentacles is that this split oftentimes results in you paying a financial price, right? It could be that having been together with this person, maybe your finances had increased, maybe you had a higher level of abundance, but now that the split has occurred, it's almost as if you've had to start your life all over again, or at least start your career or your business or your whatever it is for money. It's like you had, you know, you have to start back from the bottom, right? And work your way back up because of this split and because of the financial price that you've had to pay in this split. So it's interesting that somewhere along the line, although you see yourself as a 4 of Wands, you see the relationship as a financial split, as a separation, as an like as if you've been ostracized, right? Kicked out of the union, as it were, right? And I say oftentimes it can be a group as well, a group of people as well that you've been with. But here we're looking at a love outlook. And again, this hermit energy for the other person is very much a feeling of perhaps, you know, it could very well be that there was a financial component to this relationship. And once it's split, the person, your other person, you know, the other person in this connection for you, they took that as perhaps a signal to get a little bit more spiritual, to go down more of a spiritual road, or even just to go down a road of being on their own and learning more about themselves and really getting into themselves. And again, there is a disconnect, right? This person is very happy. They're very happy on their own. They're very happy to walk a spiritual path on their own. Something has stung here, I think, you know, and I think that perhaps this could be the one and wedding. There could have been a marriage somewhere along the line that maybe had involved money, or perhaps a proposal that involved money. And that's where the kind of disconnect happened, or the separation happened. Certainly your person is feeling very pulled back. They're absolutely happy where they are this year, 9 of Cups. You know, to have 3 9s in a row like this. They see you as being fairly happy and someone who loves, you know, their career and their money. And all of this makes a lot of sense also in a lot of ways, you know. It could very well be that this split happened here. You may have financed them in some way, right? Because they see you as the one who has a lot of abundance and rewards coming in, but they do associate you with being very alienating. And ultimately, the experience of this whole relationship has really sent them down a spiritual, introspective road, but that's a solitary road, and it doesn't involve you. Aquarius, for some reason. So it could be that perhaps there was some kind of split over money. You may have sort of put money into their work, or put money into their art, or put money into their career or their life in some way or another. But then when the split occurred, you basically sort of just broke up, and you basically were out of that money. You know, you didn't get the money back, and the relationship has now broken down, and you are divided, right? You're outside the church. It's very clear. You can see the people having now be outside the church. And so although you may not be, it may not have impacted you so much that you actually had to work your way back up. You may not have lost that much money or that much investment, but indeed it was like, you know, it broke up, and whatever investment you did give into this person, that's a loss, and you're on your own. And meanwhile, they've kind of sort of just taken the whole thing and said, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to get into myself more. It may be that they've learned a lesson in terms of getting involved with people over money. This may be their path to walk, their healing to learn, their toxicity to get rid of. Could be that this type of individual has before in the past gotten into relationships where they've used people for money, but then coming out of this connection has really opened their eyes to a sort of higher level of engagement. And this year, they see themselves, you know, they see a relationship with their own spiritual path, right? They don't see a connected relationship with somebody else, certainly if they're resonating with the Hermit energy. Yes, this could be the one. It could very well be that, yes, this was indeed a soulmate connection before. This was a twin flame connection before. But somewhere along the line this year, you know, and I say before because it almost feels like this year the split is there. If it doesn't happen early on in the year, it probably happened before, and yet the rest of the year is being colored by this relationship, in a sense that if this split happened before the beginning of 2020, it's like for the rest of the year, you're kind of still busy with it. And they're kind of for the rest of the year still busy with their spiritual path. Because they come into the year alone. 9 of Cups. They see themselves alone for the most part. They see you alienated and sort of on your own doing your thing also. And that's really what the whole year is about. So it's interesting that... that it would feel very much like this is a relationship that maybe recently broke up, right? Or a relationship that maybe broke up a while ago, and both of you have continued on your separate paths this way, right? But there's no indication of coming together, right? There may be on your part, right? Only because you resonate with 4 of Wands and you see your person as the world. So you see them as being a part of your path and your destiny, but they aren't coming, you know what I mean? There's no energy coming from them towards you, right? They're happy where they're at. They, you know, it's not like they miss it. It's not like there's no energy coming from your partner in the sense that they are acting in any way like they, want to do anything else apart from sort of learning themselves, finding themselves, being happy with what they have. It's interesting, you know, because you have Wasp energy, and it could very well be that, yeah, this has stung for quite some time. And, you know, but there's also, like I said, there's always a reason for things hurting. There's always a reason for pain and for something to sting. This could be the one also, is again, this was very much a soulmate connection, but a wedding. I wouldn't be surprised if a wedding somewhere along the line this year comes through and somehow sort of affects this union, whether it be their wedding with someone else or a wedding that you both attend and you may see each other, something of that nature, right? Interesting also that you have a 3 of Swords. So I wonder what happened here in this connection that caused this, right? Because there's also a split here. There's also disloyalty. That could very well harken back to this split in terms of the 5 of Pentacles over the finances. Let's get your clarifiers out. It just doesn't feel connected. It feels like you guys are on 2 totally different pages. Chariot for you and 9 of Wands. Knight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So for you, Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. So there is a new love connection, a new level of passion coming in. Let me just move this so we can have this here like that. Ace of Wands talks about a new understanding, a new passion, a new fire coming into your life to follow something. Let's go ahead and pull these two and see what this means for you, Aquarius. We have Chariot and Nine of Wands. So you absolutely feel like you are this year on a new path. You're about to start a new stage of your life, right? And you're sort of laying the foundation. It could very well be that you want this person to be part of it. Yet you do have a Nine of Wands, and that seems to indicate there's still some baggage there that needs to be worked through. Nine of Wands is all about sort of gathering that last bit of energy to push through a healing process, to finally sort of recognize your own crutches and baggage that you've been holding on to. And, recognizing that is the first step to resonating up to a Ten of Wands where you're ready to lay it down. But here you're not quite ready. You're really just gathering your strength and sort of working through the last sort of little bits of this journey. So it could very well be that for you, Aquarius, there's a whole new journey about to start this year. Right? There's a whole new journey in your life about to start this year. And it could be that this relationship here, this connection you have here, part of you laying the foundation for your journey is seeing sort of how this relationship may have been a crutch for you, or your feelings for this relationship may have been a crutch that you've been leaning on, and it's time to really let it go before you can finally move on with your Chariot. Another 9, right? And then, of course, your person has a Knight of Wands and Wheel of Fortune. They are on fire this year. Knight of Wands is, of course, a high level of creativity. The Knight of Wands in the Thoth deck is the same as the King. And so here we have basically the King of Wands, right? And the King is very idealistic. He's very ambitious. He's a leader. He sets his sort of, he's a leader by example. And so he sets the bar. He sets the example for those around him. He follows his heart, unequivocally follows his heart. And he always has his eye on the horizon, on his goal. He has a vision for his life. And this year, his life is going to, his or her, whoever your partner is absolutely opening up with Wheel of Fortune energy, right? And so the Wheel of Fortune is turning for them. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, Aquarius. This feels very much like a relationship that you've been holding on to. That was at some point a twin flame connection or a soulmate connection for the both of you, but your person has moved on. Your person has very much moved on. They're very happy where they are. They show no signs of sort of coming towards you at all. In fact, they show all the signs of sort of moving on with their life. Opportunities are coming in. You, however, are also having the same thing. You have the Chariot, and you have a whole new life that's about to start. You have a whole new stage in your life you're about to go through. However, you have a Nine of Wands here, and the Nine of Wands is still a part of healing. It's a part of, like I say, looking back on the events and sort of really realizing them for what they are, realizing whether or not, how alienating some of the crutches you've been holding on to have been. And like I say, once that recognition comes in, you get closer and closer to being able to lay that baggage down. Whereas your person seems to be very free of any baggage and very much on their own kind of path, right? Again, I think this may be a case of a Three of Swords moment may have happened somewhere along the line in the past, and there just is no getting over it, right? And so this could be the one in the sense that it was the one, but, I think that Wasp energy, Three of Swords, whatever this pain was that happened in this relationship, whatever caused this sort of, and it isn't even like it's, it isn't even like there's bad feelings or anything here. It simply feels like this person has absolutely just moved on. They're just getting on with their life. There's no animosity necessarily there. There could even be friendship there, right? And so, like I say, be careful. You may be holding on to the dream of a soulmate connection or a deeper connection with this person, whereas they've already let go and moved on. And you are right behind them in terms of letting go and moving on, but you still just have this Nine of Wands to get through. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your Aquarius 2020 love outlook. Take it as it comes to you. I hope it resonates for you. Go ahead and check out the links to your other videos in the description. Your 2020 general outlook and your January love outlook are all there. But for right now, Aquarius, have a wonderful 2020, and I shall see you middle of the month for the mid-month love check-in or on the weekend for your weeklies. Bye-bye now.